Good morning. It's Friday, July 22nd, 2022. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Wudang Qigong. We're going to practice from the advanced sets this morning, standing on one leg. The focus today, we're going to work on Dragon and Tiger joined together, Red Phoenix flies into the sun, and Leopard climbs a tree. And I'm going to start with Red Phoenix flies into the sun. All of these sets require a couple of things. The first one, and the one that we're going to pay the most attention to this morning, is centering and balance over the supporting leg, along with the idea of extending upward and extending downward and extending outward at the same time. That combination of up and down keeps us stable. The extension outward combined with the extension downward gives us strength. We're going to pay attention to all of that this morning. Let's get started. And yes, stepping over there to set my cup down gives me an opportunity to check the settings on the machine so that I can see if everything's okay. And right now, so far, everything's good. All right, let's do a little bit of stretching first. Feet about shoulder width apart, wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers, bend the knees. Drop the shoulders, pull up through the crown of the head, hand circle the front. Back around both sides. Up along the center line, settle into the legs, pull up through the body, reach out. Do this again. Pay attention to the large heavenly circle. Not the small one, but the large one. Up through the back of the legs, through the kidneys, up across the shoulders and down. Roll up through the back. One more time, reach out. Big circle. Bend the knees. And roll up. Fingertips reach up. Elbows drop down. Wrists. Fingertips. Hands return to your sides. Alright, this one stretch, and my ear itches, this one stretch has benefit for the whole body. Everything gets a little bit warmed up. And when we're doing more movement, right, if we start our Qigong sets at the very beginning, very first set, here I am. By the time I get to set 10, 11, 12, my body has had an opportunity to warm up. Today we're starting with set 12. Right? And you just saw my foot do a little thing on the first side that it should not have done. Second side was correct. That little kick thing was partly me warming up. that idea, right, as we progress through each of the sets, is something that we need to pay attention to, because what we're trying to do in each of the sets becomes progressively more difficult. Today, this sense of pulling up as part of this outward extension. I'm leaning here. I did that on purpose. And notice I did that on purpose and I wasn't off balance. I didn't throw myself too much forward. I'm getting better at that. That sense of, and I'm going to exaggerate this, pulling up is part, and don't go up on your toe, but that pulling up is part of what we want. The other two parts, the outward and the downward, at the same time as I'm pulling up, I need to set the heel on that leg and extend it, right? So that this pulls up and I'm reaching down with my foot. It's that opposition that gives us stability. As I press forward, this forward extension, press down as well, so that instead of leaning here, this becomes stronger. This supporting leg, okay, this is still down. This becomes stronger. As much as I push out, I push down and up, right? All three of them together with the breath. Pay attention to the small heavenly circle through the torso. And the breath. Feet about shoulder width apart, stand straight. Red phoenix flies into the sun. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Arms cross. Turn. Up. Come back to center. Right hand moves to the inside to come up on the right. Left hand on the outside. Turn the arms over. Left hand to the inside. And roll up. Keep the foot in. Bring the foot up along the leg. As you extend the arm, connect the rising foot and the rising hand. Connect the knee with the extending hand. Center. Breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Last time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Hands down along both sides. Pull up through the crown of the head. Raise the heels and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. Breathe out. this more complex movement with simple breathe in, breathe out. Connect the whole body. As you move, so that the breath isn't separate. Physical breath is not separate. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Right? Keep the breath even, keep the movement even, so that that coordination remains constant. Dragon and tiger join together. Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. Pull up through the crown of the head. Pay attention to that upward and downward motion. We still have that idea of extending forward, except this time it's the feet, the foot and the hands. Downward, outward, and up. Small heavenly circle. Pay attention to the breath. And breathe in. Breathe out. Shift onto the left. Extend forward. And pull in. Hold the foot. Don't let it hang. Heel. Pull in the toes. Put it down. Pull the knee up as much as you can when you pull in. Bring the foot with it. Relax through the back. Breathe. Keep the hips open and relaxed. Let the legs do the work, not the hips. Two more. Pull up and in through the center. Even as you sink into the heel through your supporting leg. And last time. Center. Breathe in. Hands down on both sides. Breathe out. Pull up through the crown of the head. Raise the heels and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. Breathe out. The more we connect the movement that we're actively doing with our, I'm going to call it our breathing apparatus, the less we need to pay attention to our physical breath. And the easier it is to pay attention to our internal breath, the chi. Now, what do I mean by that? The physical apparatus. What are we talking about? The breathing apparatus. What are we talking about? This is the lungs, the diaphragm, all of the muscles surrounding the lungs, inside the chest, and especially in the back. And we don't think about it nearly as much as we should, for the most part, that a lot of the breath comes from back here. It's got nothing to do with this part up here, right? This is, let's say this is the vent, and this is the compressor back here. Alright? Yeah, that's the easiest way I can explain it. In dance, huff and puff, I'm out of breath, I can't be out of breath, right? How are you going to do anything if your breathing isn't regular and controlled and coordinated with what you're doing in the movement? Okay? So as we pay attention to the breath, Qigong class, that's what we're doing here, breathing, right? This is breathing exercise. There's more to it than just the breath, but that's the first step. If you can't, if the breath is stuck up here at the top of the chest, as you do these exercises, you will become out of breath. It will be difficult to complete. It won't be smooth. There won't be continuous movement. You'll finish and it'll be, what happened, right? You're breathing up here, right? When you drop the breath down through the lungs to the diaphragm and start using the diaphragm, right? This pulls up, this opens, got the diaphragm here just below the ribs. As we start using that, the lungs begin to expand naturally from the bottom. This is a natural expansion. There's no force, there's no nothing. It's a consequence of opening and using the diaphragm. The lungs begin to expand. As we do that, the back starts to open and the small muscles in the back that move the lungs, right? So here's the back. This little bit small muscles in here that help move the lungs. Open, close, open, close. Those get to start working too. We want that. Okay? That regular breathing that is tightly connected with the movement itself, so that as we're moving, that breath extends through, that physical breath extends through the whole body. It's as if the whole body in motion is the lungs. You're moving and you're breathing and it's all good. It doesn't mean there's no exertion. It just means it's connected. That first step, connecting the breath, is how we then connect the chi through the whole body. If the breath is not extended through the body, the chi can't flow with the breath. That's how we do that. The mechanics behind that, as I'm breathing, I'm focused on that internal chi, opening the particular channels, opening the particular centers, opening the gates, opening so that I can receive and extend that chi, that internal breath. I'm also cultivating energy. I'm also cultivating the quiet in my mind. So cultivating the mind, yi, cultivating the spirit, shen, that sense of quiet, that sense of centering is something that I can use in this class, in every other class, and in my daily life. All right. Leopard climbs a tree. This idea of centering is a very good one to have with this exercise. As we move, again, this breathing together with the movement, so that as we move, it's simply a matter of breathing. No, I didn't put my foot down, did I? I didn't. Alright. Relax for a second. As we, leopard climbs a tree. As we do this, we pay attention to this idea of centering. We also want to pay attention to the extension. Right? This, I'm reaching out. This goes out. This pulls in. This is in and down. This reaches out with the leg. So, extend out. Right? This goes out. Hand and foot together. That stretch goes all the way out. Supporting leg bends. Alright? Pay attention that you don't do this. See where my hip is? Don't do this. You want to go here. Open the hip so that the hip is just right behind the heel. Right? So this is over the heel. This is just behind the heel. If this is over the heel, you will not be able to bend the leg. We want to go all the way down. Not today. Eventually, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to try. I used to be able to get pretty close. So, I'm all the way down, yeah. So, I'm working on it. The alignment here makes a difference for the bend here. The bend here is what takes you down. Okay? This and the muscle back here, along with supporting the torso, is what enables you to go down. It is. Alright, so, leopard climbs a tree. Feet about shoulder width apart, stand straight, pull up through the crown of the head. Tip of the tongue touches the roof of the mouth. And breathe in. Breathe out. Shift right. Press left. Up on the right. Extend. Sink. And come on back up. Shift left. Press right. Up. Pay attention to the angle that you're using. It should not be 90 degrees. It should be much closer to 45. 35 is okay. Look for the corner. Your own corner, not somebody else's. I'll talk about that after bed. Breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe through the movement. Allow the breath to work with the movement. Little balance issue there, yes. Keep going, 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Last time. Breathe. Hands down along both sides, pull up through the crown of the head, raise the heels and lower. Stay there, breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. This as I extend, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Where I put my foot, how far down I go. I'm leaning a little bit. I'm going more forward than I should. This extension here, right? We want this extension, but we don't want it here. It goes here. So that if I didn't have my front leg down, I could still go up and down on my supporting leg. Yeah, oh yeah. All right. A little more strength in that supporting leg. That up and down takes a little bit more work. Unless you're like, 3 or 4 years old, and then it's really easy. All right, but I'm not. All right, the mention that I made of the 45 and your own square as opposed to someone else's. In dance, I refer back to it a lot, we learned that we each have our own square. Right here. Here's my square. This is my hands, right? Here's where my foot can go, right? And I'm not, I can do it on this side. Right? If I go up here, right? That's where my foot goes. This is my square. This is my space. That square, front, side, back, corner, comes with me everywhere I go. It's always present. I always have my own square. It may be a little smaller. It may be, could be not too much bigger, but because it's my body, right? So my square is mine. I shouldn't be using somebody else's square for my movement. Okay, and this is one of the things that if you think about in choreography, that if everybody in the front row is facing that corner, the people on the end will have their side to the audience because they have to face that corner. If instead they're facing their own corner, not that one, their own. We're on the 45 here. We want to go down. Okay? So if we want to go this way, everybody's going this way. If we want the 45, you get your own 45. Pick your own square. Find the 45. That's where you should be. Everybody's on their own square on the 45. It looks very nice. It looks very regular. And it gives each person a reference for their own space. We use that. I use that without thinking about it. This morning I thought about it, so I mentioned it, and that's why I'm giving this explanation now. It's an important thing that I learned early on. I don't know that I've talked about it in this class. I've talked about it in Bagua class with the idea of being on a circle as opposed to a square. We still have those directions in Bagua, we just put them on a circle and it's not on a square. So the idea of sinking through the leg, even as you pull up through the torso, opens the hip so that now instead of only being able to do a few things because the hip is stuck there, right? Bend, sink into the heel, and keep going. And keep going. Right? That's that's about it, and my other foot was down. I did have a little bit of weight on it. We're going to work on the up and down a little bit more next time with the coiling snake, coiling snake, seeking the snake in the grass, and white snake sticks out its tongue. Hope you'll join me next week for that. I'll be back Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with Bagua. We'll be working on palm change 2 as well as a little bit of an introduction to palm change number 3. Alright, and more turning. Yeah, more circles. Thursday, fundamentals, foundation sets for Wudang Qigong, and Friday again the advanced sets, and we'll be working on the up and down part again. I hope you'll join me. Thank you. I appreciate you being here.